Hey, Izzy Dakota Jones here with the Art of Doing podcast for 2022. And guess who we're going to have? We're going to have somebody that we've had on a couple of times, Javier. And Javier is a great friend of ours. He's an independent film producer. He's also a singer, songwriter, musician, punk rock band. He's from Venezuela. But guess what? He's got his first feature independent film. And he's done a lot of shorts and a lot of stuff like that. Won a lot of awards. So we're going to talk to Javier today and have a chat and talk about his movie. And hey, I was in the movie, so playing myself. So that's kind of cool. So anyways, we'll be talking to Javier in a few minutes. Hang in there. This is Izzy Dakota Jones, Art of Doing Podcast 2022. Be right back.
Hello, Joe.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, buddy. Thanks, man. Thank you.
No problem. All right.
Awesome, brother.
So let's talk about the movie.
Awesome. Yes, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So I hear. Well, I know. I don't hear. I know you got you did a full feature independent movie, right? Is this your first one?
It's my first feature. That's right.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to make it? How long did it take you to put it all together? Shooting and everything.
Let's see. I started the screenwriting, writing the script back in 2016. About that, 2016. So it's and then we just released it in 2021, like by July about July 2021. So it took all in all about 6 years more or less to from writing to release. Yeah.
Okay. So where did you do did you do all the filming locally? How did that go?
Yeah. We shot everything locally. We shot half of it in Vancouver and half of it in Kamloops.
Yeah.
In the deserts out there.
Yeah, because that was interesting. Because I had a lot of people who've watched it said, "Did he actually go overseas to shoot that?" And I said, "I said, sure, okay."
No, that would have been expensive. I shot it all in Kamloops in the Shuswap territory.
Yeah, because it looked pretty much like the actual place, right?
That's it. Yeah, it looked like the Syrian deserts out in the Middle East.
I did. Yeah, I did. That's wild. Okay, so what's the movie? What's the premise of the movie? What's it all about? Let's have a quick thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's about a young soldier that wakes up in the desert after an attack, and he suffers a concussion, and then he cannot remember what side of the war he's on.
Okay.
That's it in a nutshell, basically what his main problem is. Later on, as he survives the desert, trying to get to a safe spot, memories of his mother and his sister start to come back thanks to a vial of perfume that he finds in his pocket. Every time that he smells this perfume, images of his mom and his sister start to come back to his memory.
Okay, interesting.
And start to explain to him, like, why is he even in the war?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, and how did you decide to come up with this premise? What made you go to deal with talking about the Syrian conflict? How did that come about?
Right. I mean, a number of things. It wasn't just the one particular one. I mean, I did live in Lebanon and visited Syria many times when I was a kid. So I do have, I did live around that area for a couple of years. But I also, I went to film school here in Vancouver at Langara, and one of my classmates, Cheyenne Bayat, who plays the lead actor in the movie, him and I became friends, and we thought together on ideas that we could do by ourselves, and themes that we liked, things that resonated with us. And so myself being from Venezuela, and Venezuela being a country that is, on the brink of collapse, in the hands of kleptocrats, who steal the government and rule with an iron fist, and Syria having had a similar experience with their president, and it becoming a geopolitical struggle for resources out in the Middle East, becomes similar to what happens in Venezuela. where the president in the dictator in power no longer has so much of a say anymore as the geopolitics of the area affected Venezuela, because it's an oil-rich country, of course. So those similar themes were kind of a key for me to say, like, you know what, doing a story about Syria, it resonates with me as a Venezuelan, and I can tell a story about the futility of war and how it affects the people in the place of the war when it's out of their control.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Great, that's great. And now, how did you get? And I guess because of that, you based it. That's how you based the script on and all that. And you said that the actor, it was one of your friends, the main actor. So what's the process of you getting together all these different actors to play the roles? Right? How many different roles were there?
We had at least 6 or 7 actors with main actors in the story. Between him being the protagonist, there's also his mother and his sister. There's also a mysterious soldier in the desert that rescues him from the brink of death, and kind of chaperones him back into the war. And without giving too much away, this.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. No.
Yeah, this brutish soldier that rescues him is a mysterious soldier. So this other actor is another friend of ours here in Vancouver, that he was willing to play the role of this mysterious soldier wearing a scarf around his face.
Right.
From the stand. We did a casting process we did an auditioning process for the actors that we didn't know personally, or that we didn't the roles that we needed to fill, and we weren't sure what actors could play. So we made an open call. Cheyenne, my friend, who is also an actor in Vancouver, made it so it was easier for us to understand how the process works, because he does that himself. Like, he auditions for other roles, so he was able to kind of access the same resources, casting workbook, reaching out to his agents and seeing, hey, I am putting out a call for this micro-budget movie, and see if anyone is interested in these roles that we put out there. Mm-hmm. And so we managed to find great actors that put in their time and effort, to help us make this zero-budget movie, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I know. And so, what's been the how's been the response from the people? Say, for instance, how the people.
Good, man. Yeah. No, it's been surprisingly good. I'm very happy about what's been so far. We obviously started off with not very high expectations, just because with no money, you can just make a movie, with your friends, basically, with the resources you have. Fortunately, I had been making movies already for a good decade here in Vancouver, and so I had my connections, and so the movie looks good and it feels good. I mean, we made it look as good as we could with our own money, doing
exactly,
crowdfunding and all that. But the response has been, overwhelmingly positive, and not only during the screening at our festival, we had a world premiere here in Vancouver back in November, and back in September we had a preview. Then in November we had we had 2 festivals, one in Vancouver and one in Toronto, and the reviews that came from them, the people were saying how they were affected by it. The images were lingering in their mind for days after the movie's done. They made them question the reasons behind wars and how it affects people. And then when we put the movie out on Amazon Prime just a month ago or so, the responses, the reviews we've been getting have been stellar. And the people that have been watching the movie on Amazon Prime, putting their reviews online, have been all positive. They all have really good things to say about the film, and that's fantastic. It really helps boost the movie too.
Yes, it does. And then I guess because you're getting that response. That must be great to get onto Amazon, right? That must be really good.
Totally. No, that was one of the highlights so far. Anyway, it's our first platform on VOD that we get the movie on. We're hoping to get into other platforms in the future. Our distributor in Los Angeles, Indie Rights, they've been amazing. And they've been very supportive because they understand that where we're coming from, where we don't have a very big budget for, marketing and sales, right? So it's really, all the marketing is really coming from our own efforts into social media and sharing the movie with our friends and with extended networks. So they understand that it's a difficult journey, but they're there with us. They're really supportive, and the results are speaking for themselves. I think we're getting good traction. So far in the first month.
That's great. That's great. So so that's happening. You're well. It's got momentum. It's got legs, right? As they say in the industry. That's good. What are your plans next to do? Like, beside them, are you going to do another feature movie? What are you doing? What are you going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the good things about having a movie out now is that it allows you to, you call attention to other professionals in film in Canada and the States, and then they come to you saying like, hey, so, good job on that. What else you got? And so that allows me to push the other projects that I had in development, right?
Right.
I had other scripts already made, that I had written with my partner. And so we've, my wife and I are also writing partners, and so we've written a couple other feature film scripts. And now we are in the middle of developing another movie.
Oh, good.
And it's a science fiction comedy about punk rock and alien invasions. So very different.
Oh, that's cool. That's going from one end of the spectrum to the other there, Mike.
It is completely different. Yeah, I was like, okay, what's the opposite end from what I just spent the last 6 years of my life doing?
Well, that should be really interesting, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah.
I mean, like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he has things that I'm familiar with, like punk rock, playing music.
Yes,
it's close to it's close to home in that sense.
Well, that's a good thing, right? Because that's going to take you into like your own experiences, right?
I think that's important for sure.
Just like you did with the last movie, like you did with this movie too. Because, like you said, you've lived in Lebanon and Syria, so those are experiences, and what's happened in Venezuela, right?
That's right, exactly. Those are definitely personal experiences. It's a bit different when you're trying to make a story about your experiences right now. Say, for example, family dramas, when you have a family experience and you want to put that into a movie. But it's something very different when you have an experience from the past and you want to extrapolate from there. Because, I didn't fight in the war. I didn't, it was not direct experiences that informed those scripts. But the fact is that I am able to, to take out from that kernel of an experience and grow it into a fictional story. And that's what I'm doing with the science fiction one, with the sci-fi alien invasion. I haven't been out to outer space yet, but there's punk rock in it.
But you got punk rock. But do you know?
Exactly.
But do you know any aliens?
I might know them and not know that they are.
Yeah, you might not know that they are actually aliens.
Yeah.
But they might be punk rockers.
That's right, they might be punk rockers, exactly. They might just take off in their spaceship one day and it's like, that explains a lot.
That explains who you are, yeah. That could be in the script.
That's true. I'm making notes right now. Awesome.
Oh, that's wild. So that's great. That you like I mean, you must be like that. It's like, what's the difference from doing like? I mean, I know what probably it is, but I just ask it because for people who are listening,
Yeah.
what's the difference like from doing the shorts that you've done to the feature length that you just did? So what's the
Good
difference?
question, man. Because the answer is not always very clear. See, I mean, where the process is pretty much the same as making a short film.
Yeah.
In the sense that you still need the same cameras, you still need the same kind of crew. So the process is the same, but for a feature film, the period of writing the script, the period of developing and raising the money is 10 times longer than you would in a short film.
Yeah.
And there's the other element of feature-length movies being an actual commodity in a market, where
Right.
a short film, you can't really make a lot of business from them. There is no real TV channel that only does shorts. I mean,
Right.
there might be one, but it's very rare, and they don't. It's very hard to make a living making a short. I mean, it's hard to make a living making long features too.
Yeah.
There's a better chance of you selling a feature than selling a short film.
Right. So I guess like because you know like you said it was on a shoestring budget. You did this movie and all that, and now like you're gonna be working on getting another one done. I guess like you sort of know where you can get your resources from, right? But hopefully now that you can that you're establishing a track record in that area, you should be able to like maybe find some more some even better resources like you said with your distributor and stuff, right?
That's it. What I've been learning a lot recently is that because feature films, long features are an entire industry, an entire business.
Right.
There are many established. There's an established infrastructure that you got to learn so that you can plug yourself into it by following the trail or by following the steps that you need to kind of do in order to develop and to finance a feature, because obviously the money is very, very expensive, very high. But there's already methods in place that all you need to do as a filmmaker is learn what they are, get coaching, get coaching from others who have already gone through it,
right,
and understand what the process is, so that then you can do it yourself with your own material, with your own script.
right.
For example, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Development labs are a big one. In short films, you still can get a development lab, and it's really a process where you submit a script to an institution, say like Whistler Film Festival or Toronto Film Festival, and so you submit your script to these festivals that they have a lab, and that lab is like an incubator where they grab your script and they say, wow, okay, we like your script, we're going to select it for this edition. So for the sci-fi movie, I submitted the script to this lab called the Blood in the Snow, which is in Toronto, and it's part of kind of like an industry event, kind of like the Toronto Film Festival, but it's like a horror and genre film festival.
Right.
And so we got the script accepted into this. They selected 12 screenplays across Canada.
Right.
And my science fiction got selected into it, and that meant that we got a 1-week process, lab kind of workshop, where we were paired up. It was all on Zoom because of COVID. We can't.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, with restrictions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we had a chance to actually get in the room with executives, distributors, broadcasters that are in the business of making science fiction, and horror and drama and
very cool.
For TV and for cinema, and
right.
They would be giving us the time of day to listen to me and Nat to pitch our script to them and like give us pointers and ask us questions and develop, basically, do your developing of the script so that it becomes a feasible, marketable
Project.
project. Yeah, exactly. So that's one step that you can do for feature films that is crucial. It's very important if you want to get it financed, because obviously the financiers, they will want to see that you are, crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, making sure that you do your due diligence in making sure that the script is as good as it can get, and that it has enough momentum for them to invest all this money, because it is a lot of money, right?
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap. So, the more you can do to develop the script, the better chances you have to get it financed, and at the same time, the better your odds are in making your money back.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's important, because then, there you go, making more movies, right?
That's it. And then exactly, if you make your money back, everyone's happy, and then you get a chance to, pick your next one.
Yeah. That's good. And then and also you attract, I guess, different actors to you, because all of a sudden they start liking what you're developing, right?
Totally, absolutely. Eventually your projects start getting a little bit more notoriety. People that are established, they start noticing that you're making quality films, and eventually, they start reaching out, and you have also access to higher, to another level of talent that you didn't have before, and that kind of opens more doors just by the fact of having made all this work before. It kind of happens in every other art form too. You have to create enough bad work until it starts to become good.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Then you start establishing yourself as a good producer, a good director, and the scripts are good too, like you said.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. People can start to trust you a bit more.
Yeah, and, that's interesting. Yeah. So it's led you through, basically this movie is also led you through a whole process of learning, right? A big process of learning.
Totally. It's funny when people tell me, well, if you're gonna make movies, you're gonna get a business degree, because a lot of it is just financing and tax credits and and securities and stuff that never in my life I would have thought of studying, finance.
Yeah. You're learning. It's not just a creative process. You're actually learning. Well, you're learning the business side of things, right? The industry, because the industry is so big, right?
That's it.
Yeah, it's so big, and there's so much money in it too. There's especially now, and I guess now, movies and everything. Everything's going into streaming, right? Just like music, right? Everything's streaming. Everything's streaming these days. Right?
Everything is streaming, exactly. And if there was any hesitation from the market to switch into streaming, the pandemic just pushed it even faster into that.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's a lot easier to get your stuff at home than having to go out and watch a concert or
Well, I mean, it's like going I don't know what the movie theaters are charging, but I know that now that concerts are coming back. I mean, you could go right now. You go see a band, say like the Black Crowes that are coming to Abbotsford, and the cheapest seat is $399.
Holy moly! Wow.
The most expensive seat is $900.
Holy no way! Can you imagine?
I can't afford that. I mean, I can't. I probably could, but why would I? Well,
why would you? How do you?
I could watch them probably when they finish doing the tour, they're gonna film it and then they're gonna stream it.
Yeah, exactly.
I could sit in my I can sit in my front room and stream the show for $39 or something, right?
That's it. Exactly. It just makes no sense to spend that much
It's making no money. It's making no. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, because gas is expensive. Everything's gone up, right? Everything's gone up because of the whole situation of the world. So I get all that, but it's getting to the point where things are getting really takes a lot of money to get things done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not a little bit, like a lot.
exactly. And so it's becoming like it's just a market for very few exclusive artists to do live big shows. And, you know, the smaller artists don't really get to play in the same arena. They have to find other ways to distribute their work and
well,
find
streaming is the way to do it, right? I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I stream with my bands at least twice a month to 3 times a month on 2 different platforms or 3. So so you know. You just have to switch on the internet and there we are, right? You know, all the time. So it's and it's cheaper. It doesn't cost me as much. Just go stream, and I can play a whole set. I mean, the only difference is you don't play in front of a crowd all the time. But when you do shows, you can stream the shows too, right?
That's right. Yeah, you stream the shows, and you are kind of playing live. There's not no people in front of you, but there's through a screen,
Yeah, all you need these days is a really good Apple phone, and you can stream the whole thing.
Right. But it's pretty amazing, yeah.
Yeah, so and that doesn't cost you that much. So compared to what what else you can get done. But interesting. So to go back, so now, like I said, so now you've learned the process more, and I guess that's good. As far as this film goes, this is going to continue to be ongoing as you're moving on to your next project, right? That's
right. So that's one thing that's going to be an ongoing thing is the promotion, marketing, and sales of Rose of Libya, the feature, the first feature, will continue for as long as the distributor has the rights to the film.
Right.
So generally speaking, it's like 3 to 5 years is the shelf life of your movie. So in those 3 to 5 years, you better make your money back from whatever money you spent.
You gotta hope, yeah.
Yeah, because that's it. Because after 3 or 5 years, then your movie just goes into the secondary shelves, like the Vancouver Public Library, maybe, or things that don't really make that much money anymore, and it just kind of trickles in after that.
Yeah.
But you're trying to make most of your money in the first year or 2. And then after that, it kind of slows down the income, and then after a while, your movie is just an old movie. You better come up with a new one.
Yeah. So I guess once this is hitting the ground, like anything, any kind of creativity, once this hits the ground, you're already starting to look for when you're going to do it the next time around, right?
That's it, man. That's exactly it. You're always trying to get the next one started, even as you are finishing one or at least getting this one in the market. You take the opportunity to promote the next one.
Yeah.
Because you'll get some attention when you release one. You take that attention to push your other projects forward.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. That's good. That's great. So that's great. So that you're hard working at it, and where can the people get? Where can they get this? Where can they get it to stream it or download it?
Yeah, I mean, my films are going to be always put out on my website for my company website. I have a company in Vancouver called Spitshine Flicks.
Right.
And the website, spitshineflicks.com, will always have links to where you can watch my films. So whether it be Amazon or what have you, the links would always be on the company website.
Okay, good.
Yeah, trying to make it into an easy place for everyone.
Yeah.
Films,
An easy place for people to access, right?
That's it exactly. Rather than having to give out 10 URLs and addresses, just give one.
Yeah, just give one. Way to go. Good stuff. Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure talking to you again, and you know what? I'm looking forward to when you get the next one going.
Awesome, Joe. Thank you so much for inviting me, man. This is always a pleasure.
Yeah. We're going to plug it right away.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much, Joe.
Have a good weekend.
You too, man. You too.
Bye.
Take care.
So that's Javier. He's learned a lot in the independent film industry and doing full lengths, and he's starting in on another one already. So go to his website, check it out where you can stream it, download it, buy it, all that stuff. It's a really interesting movie and an interesting concept. So check it out. Most people I've seen watch it really liked it. So that's Javier. This is the Art of Doing Podcast 2022. And we'll see you soon with the next one coming up your way soon to you. And we've got a whole whack of them. We got 12. We have one a month on our podcast for this year. We're rolling. Everything's been done for this year, and we'll announce everyone as they're coming out, and we'll be seeing you. Check out my two bands, the Twitch and the Saints and Sinners, the blues rock thing. All kinds of things. Like I said, we're streaming a lot. You can catch us online everywhere. So, and beside that, check Javier out. So this is Izzy Dakota Jones with the Art of Doing Podcast 2022. Okay? Peace out.